Hello and welcome back to another episode of Firehouse No. I'm Chief Frank Smith, and today we've got a special guest with us. This is Deputy Tom Kangas from the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. And in a little while we're going to see Deputy Kangas use his dog, Blaze, and show us how he uses that dog in arson detection. But before we get into that, just a couple things that I want people to remember. Coming up August 31st, we're going to have a blood drive at Novi City Hall. So remember to put that on your calendar. Blood is always needed, and it's an important thing for you to be able to help us out. And it's going to be a battle of the badges. It'll be fire versus police, and then the third member of that will be the City Hall employees. So that when you report to City Hall to give blood, tell them that you want to give the blood to count for the fire department, and then we'll be able to beat the police department and the City Hall employees. On top of that, also September 26th is going to be Fall for Novi Family Festival. We have had Fall for Novi for a number of years. What we're doing this year is we're including the fire department open house with all the other city departments that are doing an open house. So we will be on the campus of City Hall. We will have all our displays, and the kids will be able to use a fire hose, dress up in fire gear, and see all the normal things that they would normally see in October when we used to have our open house. But like many other cities in Oakland County now, we're kind of joining together with all the other departments. We're doing it all at one locale. So with that in mind, let's talk a little bit with Deputy Kangas about arson detection in the Oakland County Sheriff's Department. And it's important for Novi and for all cities in Oakland County to recognize and understand that there's a number of things that we can use as resources that the county has for us. They have a mass decontamination trailer where we can walk people in the back of a decon trailer, wash them off if they're exposed to something, get them out of the front of the trailer with a new set of temporary clothing, but basically clean a whole bunch of people from maybe a hazardous materials incident or an accidental exposure of some sort. On top of that, the Oakland County Sheriff has a helicopter. I've seen it used in searching for lost kids, also searching in water rescue incidents. They have a forward-looking infrared unit on the helicopter, and they can look in shallow water if we're looking for someone that's missing. So we've used them in that respect. And one of the other ways that we can use the resources of the Oakland County Sheriff's Department is in arson investigation, or fire investigation generally is the term that we use. So if you're ever to see an Oakland County Sheriff's Department at a fire scene in Novi, that doesn't automatically mean that it's an arson. That means that we're using their resources to help us discover why the fire was set. And what we look for first is, was there an accidental cause to a fire? If we find that there were no accidental causes, then our next thought is that it was purposely set, and we try and investigate that to see what caused that fire. That's where we get the use of an arson dog. But Deputy Kangas, before we get into arson dogs, name a couple of the ways that dogs are used in police work, generally.
The various different dogs are used for, there's arson dogs, patrol dogs.
Okay, so a patrol dog would be in the back of a car, and an officer could use that dog to apprehend someone, to guard him.
Yes, most of our dogs are multi-purpose, where they are patrol dogs, and then they do narcotics, bombs, explosives, in arson. But a patrol dog, for the most part, does tracking, can apprehend people, find articles, find people.
Okay, and that's the one on the TV shows where you see them, they show a sample, or they put a sample to a dog, he sniffs it, and then can search out that same odor on a track?
Well, yep, they can do it that way. That would be a track. And they also do area checks for people, which are, they're just, you believe someone is out in this area, in this wooded area or something, and the dog is just sent out there to find someone. He's going to find human scent.
Okay. How sensitive is a dog's nose? Why do we use dogs instead of, say, instruments, electronic instruments?
they're far more sensitive as far as in the arson, which I'm involved in. The dog's nose is more sensitive than the electronic equipment.
Than anything we can come up with?
Yeah, right, that's correct.
Okay. And I heard on a TV show that a dog trained in arson detection can pick up a hydrocarbon, a drop of hydrocarbon in a 1 acre field. Does that sound out of line, or is that something?
No, it does not.
Not at all.
Yeah,
so 1 drop in a whole acre it's pretty minute particle of sample for that dog to be able to pick up. So when they're training arson dogs, what is involved in training of an arson dog?
You have to introduce them to the arson dogs. They detect accelerants, which are used to start a fire. They're introduced to these different accelerants and trained to alert on just these accelerants.
Okay, so when we say accelerants, we're talking about
gas, diesel, lighter fluid, kerosene.
Yeah, alcohol, kerosene, various jet fuel even.
Right.
And all of these are long hydrocarbon chains. I used to teach chemistry, so I get into the hydrocarbon part of it, but they're long hydrocarbon chains and once you train an animal to pick up that hydrocarbon chain, the difference between diesel fuel and gasoline is just a couple of molecules different. So they're able to pick up that along with that gasoline training. So how do you train a dog? Once a dog recognizes gasoline, then how do you get him such that he can recognize it in maybe a house that has had a fire, where it's much more difficult to pick up that scent? You've got ashes and water and debris and things like that. How does it work that they get that fine-tuned with their nose that they can pick it up in a fire scene?
Well, once a dog, unlike a human, can smell many different scents at one time. So, we just may smell the burnt out scene, but he smells multiple different things and can detect the accelerant he was trained to alert to under all this debris. And it's not difficult, but we do train in those scenarios too. But the dog's been trained to alert just by itself, and doesn't have a problem when it's mixed in with.
Okay, so a dog can smell, an arson dog can smell up to how many scents? That's how they rank them, right? Is how many scents they're able to detect and to hit on?
I'm not sure what you mean by rank, but Blaze.
Not rank, but
yeah, Blaze is certified in 16 different accelerants.
16 different things that he can smell. So if he smells any of those, you know it when he gives his signal.
Yes.
Okay.
And his signal is to sit. There's different times. There's two, like a lot of drug dogs are what they call aggressive alert, where they scratch at the item when they find it. Blaze is called a passive alert dog, which sits. His nose will go down on the spot and he'll sit, indicating that there's an accelerant there. Very
interesting. In a few minutes, we're going to come back and we'll show you how Blaze works. We've got a couple samples set here in the fire station. And Deputy Kangas will take Blaze around and we'll actually see him alert on some samples that we've previously set, some hydrocarbon liquid. And we can see how Blaze works and how he does a job better than anything that our technology can come up with. So we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll show you a sample of Blaze at work. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.